does not really stimulate an economy as much as roads. Okay?
Okay.
So, railway, you've got to be very clear. Now, we conceptualized it as a private project from Mombasa to Malaba. And we had done a costing. What we needed was help to make sure we can do the costing because it was a concession owned by a company called RVR.
Mm-hmm.
So the government was very gracious to us. Minister of Transport at the time, Makwere, was very good.
So, yeah.
Raila was very good.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, at one time called all the RVR people into and said, I'll cancel, you're refusing the people to do a technical study. So we were allowed in. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Government was very gracious to us. So we did a study. That costing was at the time 55, 60 billion. We were not going upwards, it was down. And what we knew, with 6 or 7 companies that do most of the goods from fuel oil to wheat, maize, those sort of products, we would recover that money in 7 years if we could get somebody to manage and invest in the rolling stock. We got somebody who was prepared to rent the rolling stock and manage it. So it was like a real estate project. I want you to imagine that in 7-8 years, we'd have returned our money and started making profits. So it was a fantastic
Which should have been almost any time from now.
No, we would have made it. 7 years, a long time ago, actually. Would have been making good money. What we were not doing was going up. You know this thing of up. Civil works are go up.
Yeah.
We were just staying to the ground.
The ground.
That project became a project that was 380 billion done by government between Mombasa and Nairobi. And then another 180 or so from from Syokimau to Naivasha. So it became a 500 billion shilling project. When wine was 55, from Mombasa to Malaba. And it became a project of debt, not a private project. In other words, people's money was not being invested. Wananchi's money, taxpayers' money. Ours did not have taxpayers at all. We were giving Kenya Railways a piece of shareholding because we were on their land. That's it. So they were going to get a dividend. We were not taking taxpayers' money. So that is the difference. And we had very good soft credit to do it.
So you guys were set. Approvals were done. Construction starts.
Yeah. Then people start saying, oh, it's too vital to give it to private people. So what are you talking about? At a railway iko hapa. I mean, what do you mean to? You can just shut it off and then we're in trouble. No, people will start bringing excuses for government. You start realizing that at the end of the day, you're competing with the government. Government is like a private company. It wants, yes. Now you're taking away its pieces of it.
And it's probably legacy at some point.
It doesn't want. No, it's a private company. The Mzungu set up a private company called GOK. I'll come to that. Now, it became a big argument. So I said, this thing is nonsense. How do you go from this figure to 380? This is looting. Which return can we do here? Yeah. 380 was almost 4 billion at the time. Shillings. Loan. $4 billion. Loan.
It's a whole lot of money.
Under Kibaki, I don't think we had passed $700 million loan.
But this one single item.
One single item. What is this? Now, a government, you need to understand, has 2 sources of revenue. Mm-hmm. Debt and taxes. Those are the main sources of revenue. And I like to say everything else, even when you pay for a license of your car or as they make you do an ID, at the end, that is tax. But they are trying to call it something else. Mm. All right? Mm. So once you blow up any of them, it has an impact on Wananchi. Debt is tax in advance. You take a loan today, your salary pays in the future, isn't it?
Debt in advance.
So tax pays in the future. So the more you take here that does not return, the more you have to raise taxes to pay. I said, you're hanging Kenyans. Is this what you're doing? You're hanging Kenyans. I want nothing to do with this thing. So even when Wafula came to me, it's like, ikitu ni mbaya. In fact, I want everyone to say I'm not in it. Even it was my deal that has gone. It's okay. At least they say I'm not in it. Because one day, the truth will come out. And Kenyans will really know how they've been cheated. But let me tell you, Daktari, because now we've done a good audit on it. I never imagined, even when I was talking to Wafula, I thought people were eating 200 billion or something. I never imagined what had happened. Never. What happened? And I'll surmise it this way. See, it cost 500 billion.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So the finance agreement said this. 90% comes from China, 10% comes from Kenyans. All right?
Mm-hmm.
The 10% triggers the 90%. So Kenyans, 10% of 500 is?
It's 50.
50B. Kenyans are to pay from their taxes 50B, and the Chinese will advance a loan of 450. Over 15 years, right? 3 years grace on interest. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the agreement signed.
On paper.
2 finance agreements. So we did an audit, like I've done with other debt. All right? So we just did an audit to see whether we got the money from China. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So the process was this. When construction happens, the company China Road and Bridge gives a certificate to Kenya Railways. Kenya Railways sends a certificate to Treasury. Treasury gives them 10% and then forwards the 90% to China Exim to pay. After we have paid our 10%. All right? That 10% grant from Treasury is called Self-Raising Finance Grant, Treasury, to Kenya Railways for the construction of SGR. So we just did the sum. Did we get the money from China?
No.
Check. Yes. We've seen the drawdown certificates, 450.
Came in.
Yes.
Hit the account.
It hit China Road and Bridges account, not our account.
Mm.
All right? Then, did we pay our 10%? We just did the sums. It's there in public records. It's called Self-Raising Finance Grant. So we just did the math. This year, how much? Next year, how much? It wasn't 50 billion.
Oh, no.
We paid 644 billion from the Treasury.
Oh, okay. Was it a system mistake?
No. 644. So Kenyans paid for that railway and more from their taxes. And yet we're still paying a loan of 450.
It is well.
Billion, of which to date is still 300 billion outstanding. So we paid China Road and Bridge for a contractual project of 500. We paid them 1.1 trillion. Does that make sense? So 600 billion and change above the contractual cost. So China Road and Bridge took our money and packed it for somebody. And that somebody, or those people, came and then said, oh, we are investing in expressway. China Road and Bridge comes and invests 100 billion.
Again.
But it's the same money. It's our money. It's the same money. So you've out of the 600 extra, you have washed 100. It's a laundry. See, now it's legitimate when you pay ticket. Yeah, but it's our money.
So is it paying for
and
expressway?
you've still got 500. Maybe they're investing in other parts of the world. So I think you need to understand this. No, it's phenomenal. You know, when you talk these figures,
I'm getting angry.
People can't conceptualize many times, but it's the reality of the problem we are facing.
So is it legal to pay for the expressway, sir? Is it legal that I pay?
Yeah. But it's your expressway.
So should it be?
So what happens
off?
at the end of the day? All right, one day,
it should be scrapped off.
No, one day we are going to take hold of it as a recovery of assets, because the investment that went into it was our money. Yeah. All right. Then at the time you can say whether you're going to charge or not. But right now it is a private concern. So you need to understand what has been happening here the last 15 or so years.